Hey there, folks. So, between episodes, I did a little bit of poking around. First thing we're going to do this episode was we are going to fix our inventory widget. So, I figured out what I needed to do for that. So, I'm just going to open that up. And again, it opens up in the other window. So, the first thing we're going to want to do, I actually had my anchors incorrect on this stack box. We want our anchor to be the top left corner. We want to give this a fixed value of 200, and we're going to say 75. Is it too big? No, not 750, 75. And then the icon, we want to set this to fill and with a value of 0.4. That was retained from my playing around. I tried to reset everything I could. And then our information stack box, we want that to also be a fill with a value of 0.8. I understand they contradict each other because that's a 1.2 total, so it does shave off a bit, but it also gives a priority. So the other thing I did, which I didn't undo noticing here, is I just changed the font size down to 20 and 12, I think. 20 and 14, respectively, for the text blocks. So now that we've done that, we're just going to hit compile and save with that. And just for those wondering, or who may not know, that compile and save I mentioned in the previous episode carries over to everything that's any blueprint widget. It keeps that same logic. So we can close out of that now. I'm going to move the content browser out of the way. We're going to hop into play an editor session quick. Yes, and it's being a little janky because it's the first time I've launched play an editor since I launched. Walk over, pick up the mushroom, and then we're going to hit I. And you can see we have, well, a very messy looking UI. So there is one more thing I want to do before we go through and fix up this inventory and actually sort of have the player, like you can see I'm not moving. Well, I'm still moving with the camera and stuff, but I want to stop that from happening. First of all, though, we're going to finish up and get our log actors picked up, or being picked up. So this time around, I did not launch the editor from Visual Studio. I launched it from the Epic Launcher, so we're just going to close out of that. And now that's closed out, we are going to start working on our pickup actor. So we're going to go into our base class here, pickup actor base, and the respective source file. Okay, and you can see in there we do have some commented out code, and in there that is where we're going to be working. So as you can see, we have interact implementation. That's what we're expecting. Getting the inventory. Well, all of this looks pretty much the exact same as our harvest actor. So let's close out of all of these other. No, I did not want to pin that. I wanted to close that. Close out of all our other files here. We're going to just open up our harvest actor. So there's the commented code we had before. What we're going to do, we're going to just grab all of the new code that we added. We're going to do the same thing. And the whole reason for doing this is because and for leaving this here, is this was my initial gray box thought of what I needed to do. And then we want to make sure what we actually implement matches this. So well, we don't have an update harvest state. We can get rid of that. And you can see we have an incomplete class, and we don't know about that. So we do need to add those two headers. So we're going to grab those as well. So that is our character and our inventory component. Save those headers, and you should see that fixes almost all of it. We can get rid of B is harvested because, again, we're not doing that. What we want to do here is add in the destroy actor logic instead, because we're removing this item from the game world. So what we're going to be doing is this dot destroy. I think it's Q for destroy. Set auto destroy when finished. I believe this is the one we want. And the reason being is if we call destroy before, actually I'm going to leave this in, put that in just so everyone can see, because I've ran into this issue before. Maybe they fixed this in 5.4. If we're calling this dot destroy, it's actually going to try to destroy it before this logic is finished. So, however, this should cover everything. We do want to add some of our failsafe in here, though. Inventory item. U item base, that is all right. So inventory item. Forgot to put my phone on silent. Okay, so did we not add that to our harvest actor? I thought we added that in. I'm actually going to add it here to our is interactable. And is that going to work? Yeah. So this is just a test. I haven't actually done this one before. So what we're just returning is the inventory item we're meant to pick up, is it a valid item? And if it is, then we'll say we can pick it up. If not, we'll just leave the world actor in there. Don't really like that, though, because that's going to... Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that thinking about it, because that's going to leave the potential for invalid actors not working. Like invalid inventory items causing the actor to not pick up. So what we're going to actually do here is if not is valid inventory item, we're going to just return, but we're also, as you've probably seen me in some of the other episodes, error logging. And I'm missing a closed brace. Bracket, sorry. All right, so now we've got that. Let's go and build. Now, as I was saying, going back to this destroy, to using destroy, I found in the past calling this destroy, like I've done here, actually triggers the destroy logic before everything is done, and it causes some access violation errors, which result in obviously crashes. So this is something, again, the reason why you playtest and you debug and you step through and do things as you're working on your project. As a developer, I don't recommend waiting until you've done like 1,000 lines of code or however much, or completed an entire piece to do your debugging and do your step throughs. Because let's just say you wrote, what's my largest class right now? Probably inventory component, stat line component. Yeah. So let's say you wrote all of this stat line component code. And those are just some breakpoints I had left in there for my last round of testing. You wrote all of this inventory component code, and you had not once actually stepped through all of it. And then all of a sudden you find out you have an error in here somewhere. Your stat line's not working. Well, okay, this particular class, it's only 200 lines of code. And honestly, it's probably not even 200 lines of code when you look at all the white space and switch cases and things like that. But the point there is the more code you write before you test, the more unsure you are as to where in the code is the problem. So you've probably noticed over the last 20 some episodes that I'll do a bit, I'll test. I'll do a bit, I'll test. And that's, at least from my experience, the best way I've found to do it, because then you know, okay, this first portion I've done works. The second portion I've done works. Oh, this third portion, there's something wrong. So it's this code I've changed in the last half an hour, depending on how quickly you're working. But with that, this build is going to take a little while. It's the first time I've run the build since I did my last commit to source control. So I'm going to pause here and I'll be back as soon as the editor is launched. Hey folks, so the build finished. However, sitting here I did notice, and thanks to IntelliSense, I actually have some bad code in two places here. First of all, in our adjust stat, which is actually something we're probably going to be implementing in the next episode where we're going to need to use this, we're falling through. And to explain to anyone who doesn't understand what that is, if we called adjust stat for a health, what we're actually going to do is execute all of this code here until we hit that break. So we would have our health change, our hunger change, our stamina change, and our thirst change, all by the amount we intended to change health. And doing that, I also see we have a fall through up here, again, courtesy of IntelliSense. So something to be cognizant of or pay attention to. Sometimes you're going to write code quite some time ago, because our stat line was one of the very first things we created, and you're going to miss code. In this case, we just want to quickly fix this and throw in some break commands after. Actually, we don't even need to use break there. We're not wanting to execute any further code, so we can just put a return instead. And then this guarantees we fixed our issue. And you notice these will slowly, it's saying an unannotated fall through. And the reason for that, I'll explain. You can have, I believe it's fall through. It's been a while since I've had to use it. It's something like that. You put that through, you put a little attribute on there, and it will say, yes, I intend for this to fall through. But we don't actually want that. So I'm just going to throw these, and do we want breaks on this one? Yes, because this is a for loop. So finish that one off. And again, these are going to stay until IntelliSense hasn't updated. We do also have an error, though. It failed. Pickup actor, use of undefined item, U item base. Did I not add that in there? No, I didn't. So that is on me. So we'll just grab our item base include, and we'll throw that in there as well. So just with that, like I said, I've said in numerous other episodes, I do like to include my mistakes that I make and fixing them, because chances are you're going to make similar mistakes yourself. So with that though, let's try another build. Let's see if this one's going to take a little time. It's only 5 this time, which isn't bad. How long did oh, clear it is. Let's say, how long did the last run take? I didn't look. But, so pickup actor, stat line component, both of those are compiling. Everything's good this time. So we're going to launch the editor. Pull that over, and this should be pretty quick because I had launched it earlier. Nope, I've seen an error in there. Is that the same one we're getting? The uninitialized variables. Yeah, I'm going to do some off-camera research to figure out how to initialize those, because they're pointers. Anyway, so we're going to go into the editor. And we are going to open, actually, let's pull the content browser over. We're going to go into our project file within the main content blueprints, into our dev folder, and we have our log. So we're going to expand that, or open that, not expand it. And you can see we don't have an inventory item for it yet. So we're going to put BP log. Item count interaction text is going to be pickup log. Pick up log. Save that. Well, sorry, compile and save that. And I'm going to move this one out of the way. And then we're going to go look at our items. Junk items. Log. Now, for anyone who's missed the other episodes, the reason I'm calling these junk items is they themselves do not directly have a use. Like, you're not going to have your player eat a log. Well, at least in my game, I'm not. If you have something like Timberborn, it's a beaver game, that, yes, you're probably going to eat logs. However, so just wanted to go through in here and quickly say, take a look to make sure we've got everything. We have the item name as a log, a wooden log. We've given it an icon. Max stack size is 10. Current stack size is obviously 1. That's the default. It doesn't have resource tags because this in itself is going to be treated as a resource item, at least for the time being. But you would want to say potentially add something like planks or wood, like a broken down item. And that's what the whole purpose of the resource tags are for, is to indicate what the item will break down into and the quantities. Then we have a world mesh, and this is just a reference to if the player drops the item, what should it spawn for the static mesh of the world that you can then pick up subsequently. And then finally we have the item weight, which in this case is 25. So we're just going to compile and save that because I made some changes even though I removed them. So we're going to move this out of the way, move our content browser out of the way, and hop into our play-in editor. And quickly we'll just see inventory is up. Nothing there though. Pick up our mushroom just to make sure. Inventory. Yep. Okay, we're going to go over and start harvesting our trees. Now, you may have noticed that the interaction requirements it's at the character's hips. One thing you have to keep in mind is I do plan on changing this to a first-person perspective. I just haven't got there yet. Mainly because I'm trying to get most of the primary logic sorted out first. Switch it over to a first-person camera, and most of this behavior is going to continue to be the same. So, anyway, so we're going to pick that up, and you can see that was destroyed, and we have, we've got an issue there. Our mushroom disappeared. So that is going to be down to, well, first of all, there's two things. One, I was incorrect. This works. So that's not needed. But we do have an issue with our inventory component. So let's open that up. And what did we say? Where's our pickup actor? Oh, it's just in there. Nope, harvest actor, pickup actor. Add item to top. So we want to add item to top. Where are you? I'm going to throw that in there. We're going to hop back into the editor. We're going to run another play-in editor. So this is going to hit the breakpoint as soon as we pick up the mushroom. We're just going to continue. We're not worried about that. And we're going to head over and try and grab our log, and I want to see what's happening here. Because this is the concern I had, where it would replace instead of add. So I'm going to hit F. So is item valid? Yes. Item weight, that should be 25. Yep. Inventory contents is 1 and 0. Okay, that's good. Okay, so maybe that's our UI that's broken then. Let's just check our inventory. Okay, so you can see here, it did actually do what I wanted. It put the log at index 0. I'm going to go pick up the other one. We should have 3 items in there then. Let's continue that. We don't need to worry about it. Yeah. Oh, and we still have that same issue with we're getting the pickup log text is staying there even though it doesn't need to be. Anyway, so you can see we have 3 items in our inventory. We have an index of issue. Let's go to our UI, because now that we have 3, we're seeing 2. So basic HUD. Oh, sorry. Let me pull this over so you can see it. We're going to go into our graph, and we're going to throw a breakpoint here. I'm just going to quickly trigger that. Okay, so we are clearing the children. That removes everything. We should have... We're only getting 2 items. So that tells me it's not here that the issue is. It is... Where is our inventory? Inventory component. This is the issue right here. So what we're going to do is change that to an equals. So it's less than or equal to. We're going to hop back into the editor. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to stop debug, play in editor mode or simulation. And we're going to throw a live code update. All right, that's finished. So we're going to repeat what we were just doing. We're going to pick up 3 items. Actually, because we know that's that one there. We don't need to worry about that breakpoint. So I'm going to go pick up 3 items. Let's pick up 3 logs. Actually, 4 logs, because that'll be our inventory. Quickly check that here. Go select our inventory. Pick up log. That one worked. Pick up log. That one didn't. Wonder why that didn't. So pick up log. Pick up log. We have a max inventory capacity of 100, so we shouldn't be able to pick up this one. Yeah, it's... I'm not sure if you can hear me tapping away in the keyboard there, but it's not letting me pick it up. So, all right. So now let's go bring this over. I'm going to step through clear children. This should be 4. No, num 0. Oh. So no, that was throwing, it was correct. So why is that not returning all of them? Okay, we're going to stop this here. So, okay, so that was inventory component over here. So this was correct. So I'm going to throw another breakpoint here. Let's just think. Okay, so for inventory contents dot num, yeah. Oh, I'm an idiot. I never removed incrementing it within the for loop while also that was from when we were trying, well, I was attempting to do the for auto. I had well, I'll just undo what I did. So we're incrementing it twice, so it's only ever going to give us half of what we need. Because, yeah, because that was when this was originally for auto. Well, I think that was const auto I had. I had something like that, and we were using the index flag outside of it. And it was, so yeah, that's the reason. I'm an idiot, and I left that code in there. So again, big proof and a big example, I should say, as to why you want to step through your code. I don't want to say every single code change you make, because you're going to spend more time, particularly with something like Unreal Engine, where you got to start the engine, play an editor, things like that. But you want to try and step through your code as reasonably often as possible, just simply because you're going to run into these silly mistakes like I had made there, where I left an index of operator, sorry, an index incrementation operator in there when I didn't need to. So, okay, so pickup log. Okay, I'm going to leave that one. Is it the second time we do this? Yeah, it's... This is weird. It's because there's still one within the... I think that's why. So, can't pick that one up. Hopefully you guys can hear that keyboard. So we're going to go to character just to make sure we have 4 things in our inventory. I'm going to try and fix that pickup logic as well, the text logic. Yep, we got our 4 there. Our weight is 100. Now let's hit I. Step through here, and num is 0. Oh, because we have a breakpoint there. Because I'm special. Hit that. There we go. Num is 4. So you can see we have 4 logs. So we're just going to continue. We don't need to have that there. And you can see by the way the inventory code was written, we're not auto stacking. Everything is going in individually. So I'm going to do one more thing here. We're going to go play. And I want to show just to prove that they're going in top to bottom the order, sorry, bottom to top the order that they're picked up. I'm going to pick up 2 logs. I'm going to run back over, pick up the mushroom. And I really need to figure out why that pickup text is staying there. Pick up another log. So based on the way my logic is, the inventory should present as log, mushroom, log, log. Oh, I left the breakpoint in there in the blueprint, which you don't care about. So as you can see, log, mushroom, log, log. Now, you can also see there's some UI issues here because we're using some dynamic sizes. So the inventory widgets, actually I'm going to fix those up. So let's, actually here's, I'm going to close that, save. Oh, still another breakpoint I don't need. That's from when we were checking the inventory component. I'm going to drop out, and I'm just going to open up that widget. So here, stack box, we can't add any color to it, but what we're going to do is wrap with a border. I'm going to select our border. Content color and opacity, we don't want to change. Our brush, however, I'm going to set you to black. So compile and save, and you can see here we now have a black background, our icon, our text. Now launch this, let's hit 9 to load. Again, breakpoints we don't need. So it should be over here, we should hit I, and you can see our log inventory widgets are not the same size as our mushroom, and actually our mushroom is also too small for the text. So those are the sort of things you're going to come across as you're debugging stuff, stepping through. You're going to like, oh this, oh that. As I mentioned before, I'm not a UI person. My UI is going to look janky. I will just say that because the UI is the last thing I'm ever going to worry about, because making the UI look pretty, in my opinion, and I know there's going to be front-end people out there who are going to want to burn me for this one, but in my opinion, the UI is the easiest portion to do, because you're taking all of your back-end logic, you have everything you need there, and you're turning it into just a visual representation. Yet you may need more information from the back-end side of things. Like I may find out down the line I need to write some custom blueprint widget code for how long is the item name. So like that unknown mushroom, it's okay, it's this number of characters, and it's a total of 800 pixels, things like that. So from that though, I am actually going to call things here. It's a spot-on 30-minute episode, pretty much. From that, hopefully, you guys have got some understanding of the inventory system. Next episode, I'm not sure what I'm going to move on to next episode. I might actually expand, and actually, next episode we're going to set it up, to where the game is not still functioning in the background. Your player control stops. But because I want to, again, as I mentioned in other episodes, have a survival game, I want it to be a case of the game isn't paused. The only time my game is going to be paused is if you go into the what is normally called your escape menu. So, with that, folks, though, thank you for watching. As always, any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I've been responding to all the ones I get, and I continue to try to do so. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next episode.